Hey, you. Before you
Hey.
click off our podcast,
Don't do that.
don't click it off.
Click on.
Our watch time's like 2 minutes, and I really would like to make it 3.
Give us another 108 seconds.
Exactly. So, we're pretty funny. We don't have ads right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you stick around.
Until we get big, you're getting in the bottom floor.
Yeah, exactly. You're investing on the low. So when this podcast is the number one podcast 2 years from now, you'd be like, I listened to them when they had 5 views an episode.
Mm-hmm.
And they've had 5 views for 6 episodes now. So we're really going places.
Yeah, it's like saying that you watched PewDiePie when he only had 12 million subscribers.
Yeah, it's exactly like that.
It's the same thing.
It's the same. You found that song that no one found. You found Kill Beat Girl first. And now you're that friend because you found.
And now
Kill
you're
Beat Girl.
Wonderwall.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, by Oasis.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we're going to begin today's episode by... I'm going to do a little tasty test of this AHA sparkling water. This is the peach and honey flavor. Haven't had this one before.
All right. Fun fact, guys, we've actually recorded this whole bit
I recorded this whole... And it wasn't a bit the first time. Because
twice
I had
now.
never had this.
And then Ben unplugged the microphone.
No, the microphone became unplugged.
And so now we have to do it again. But so this is Ben's second review of peach and honey.
Wow, that is a really good taste of sparkling water. It's like almost got like a vanilla smoothness to it.
It's a pretty good flavor. It's probably one of my favorite flavors of
It is pretty
sparkling
good.
water.
It's pretty good. It's right. It's just above. Cherry limeade's my favorite. It goes right above cherry limeade. It's right there.
They have like a lime watermelon flavor. It's not as good.
No, watermelon doesn't taste good in sparkling water.
You'd think like, oh, watermelon would taste good in sparkling water. Let's mix it with lime. No one wanted
It doesn't
that.
taste good mixed with anything in sparkling water.
It's like the mint and cucumber flavor of Gatorade.
Is that real?
It's like it was like a messy flavor. It's cucumber and something.
Yeah, it's messy.
It's
That's
like lime and
disgusting.
cucumber. It was terrible. It was
That's
like
gross.
light green.
See, light. No, I don't like that.
Mm-mm.
Mint does not sound like a Gatorade vibe. Gonna be honest with you.
It wasn't. There's a reason it's not sold anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. Fair point.
It really is.
That sounds like a nightmare of a flavor.
It's a nightmare of a flavor. Speaking of nightmares, I had
Yeah.
a terrible nightmare the other night.
Wow, what was it about?
So I had a nightmare that I was on a pier, like the ones that are like at beaches and stuff.
Yeah.
At the fairs. Is it still a fair if it's on a pier?
I think piers are just like fairs.
Is it
year-round
carnivals?
in South America?
Amusement park. We're gonna call it an amusement park.
No, I think pier is the word.
Okay, we're gonna call it an amusement
You
park
can make it up.
on a pier. And I was playing
the
this
Dixie Classic on the water.
Exactly. I was playing this carnival game, and in this carnival game, I got splashed with something mid game, and I was covered in crawfish. But you know how like if you cook shrimp, they're like gray, white, but when you cook them, they turn orange.
Yeah.
They turn shrimp color. They're not actually orange. So that means all the shrimp in Disney movies are dead because they're
Oh
orange.
shoot! Really, just the Little Mermaid.
They're zombies.
It's really just the Little Mermaid is actually I Am Legend.
Yeah, it's I Am Legend.
Yeah.
Isn't there shrimp in Nemo? Yeah.
There's a shrimp in Nemo, but there are shrimp that are that color.
Orange?
Yeah.
There's shrimp with orange spots, but they're... Anyways. So I got covered in... Like, a big splash hit me, and I was covered in these crawfish. But the issue is they were orange, so I knew they were cooked, and the dream me acknowledged they were cooked. But I was still in a state of panic the entire time. So...
Knowing that you're covered in...
Cooked crawfish.
Mm-hmm.
And I would run around to like talk to these people and be like, help get these off. And no one would help me get these crawfish off. And so then I
I wouldn't.
I woke up sweating and I was like in the middle of the night, I was like, did I just have a nightmare about crawfish?
Yeah, I mean, if I saw a guy on the pier screaming about the crawfish that were on him, I would point and laugh.
I mean, I came to help and they were like, no, not going to help you.
Yeah. There are orange shrimp. They exist.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Because they're dead.
No, they're alive. They're vibing.
Well, that's like, not all shrimp. When you cook shrimp, they turn orange. But this is crawfish, isn't it?
This is a real picture.
Let me see.
It's not.
Turn it my way. It's photoshopped.
Yeah, no, it is. Anyway,
It's a photoshopped.
I think that they're probably orange shrimp. I feel like there's a bunch of colors of shrimp. Most sea life, I feel, has some.
For crustaceans,
It's like,
yeah.
well, that's the whole reason that flamingos are pink is because they eat shrimp, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
They eat the crustaceans.
Yeah, and it turns their feathers pink.
Something
Because
about
of the something inside of.
the little chemical in it makes them pink.
Yeah.
And so, well, what color would they be if they didn't eat shrimp?
That's a really good question for Google.
Now I'm curious.
What color? I would assume it'd be white.
What if flamingos are... They're like a tan color without it. That'd be kind of cool.
What color are flamingos before they eat shrimp? Flamingo chicks hatch with white-gray, downy feathers, and straight bills.
So it turns their...
It takes several years for them. Oh my gosh. This guy's like half-baked.
Let me see. It looks like someone dipped him in the marinade. Took
Look
him
at
out
this
to
little nerd. First of all, flamingos look like demons.
Oh no, flamingos are scary.
But that little guy
The
looks
whole
like a nubby little nerd.
justification in Disney movies where they make them like the heart shaped when they come near each other is terrible.
Yeah. Well, they do that sometimes. Look at that. That's not photoshopped. That's not the same flamingo twice. It is.
It is the same flamingo twice.
Um,
It's fake.
it is.
We need to start getting real standards for natural flamingos.
Yeah.
There's-
Swans do that though.
Do they?
No.
I don't.
Swans are actually evil. Swans are evil. Geese are evil. Have you seen the inside of a penguin's mouth?
Yeah, they're like lots
It's
of
like
spikies.
it's like a bunch of
little spikies.
It looks like an octopus's mouth, like the way that they're just like a circle of like a lamprey.
with a beak.
Not lamprey. What am I thinking of? Am I thinking of lamprey? Yeah, lamprey.
What is a lamprey? What's a type of squid, isn't it?
Lamprey are eels.
Oh, those are the things that they feed on dead animals.
Yeah, they feed on dead animals, and I read like a Ripley's Believe It or Not type thing when I was little, and I swear it talks about there's some countries where like there's a potential for those things to like come up through a toilet and like latch onto your ding dong.
No, that's the penis fish. That's
No.
That's a different fish. That's a real fish. They had an episode of River Monsters about it.
Can lamprey eels
I mean, I guess they could latch onto your ding dong, but
and through the toilet?
because then it would be. It's like there's a couple that's vacationing at a really nice home. It's like, honey.
I mean, the penis fish would also be. Which animals can swim up your toilet?
Yeah, the penis fish is real.
Oh, there's a snake.
It's in South Africa.
Rats.
Hold on.
There's only rat. The only picture on here is a rat.
Rats can swim up your toilet. So as a long time fan of River Monsters, he does the whole episode where he's like in South Africa. And have you ever watched River Monsters?
A little bit.
They'll
I've seen the part with the giant manta ray that was like 6 feet across.
Yeah.
And that's not manta ray, some kind of disc ray. Super cool.
Just Ray. Yeah. They'll so when they do like to hype up the episodes, they'll film dramatizations of whatever. Usually someone's dying. Someone's getting mauled by this fish. And
Yeah.
they dramatize it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they do the episode about the penis fish, they pose it in like a village. And when they do, I'm trying to describe it. So the man comes out of his little village house, and he steps into the river at night, and he's peeing, and there's like a shot of like the bottom of his legs, and there's a stream of it, and then it does the Minecraft oof essentially, where it like flashes red and white, and then it like cuts to his face, and he's got like both hands on his crotch because the penis fish just swam up his stream into his little wee wee.
How small is the penis fish?
It's medium size. Like it's bigger than you
So
think
how does
it
it
is.
swim up a stream if it's medium
It's
size?
bigger than you think it is, but smaller, but small enough, if I remember.
Small enough to swim up a stream?
If I think so. It's like not.
Fish swims up man's urine stream.
It's not tiny. This is it. Top fan favorites fishing up.
Oh, there's no audio in this video.
That's okay. He's peeing.
He's peeing.
He's peeing.
And then there's the Minecraft oof Minecraft, oof.
He crouches over, and now he's got a little fish in his wee-wee, and that's the guy.
That's the guy who no longer has a wee-wee.
That's the guy with the fish wiener.
He's too happy explaining how this fish does its business.
Well, yeah, that's his whole career.
He's like Dirty Jobs guy, but with animals.
Yeah, but then he takes the fish that just mauled the poor village kid.
Yeah.
And he catches it, and then he shows it off to the camera. And it's like, this is how he did it, and like points out the teeth, and he's like,
we had to get somebody Scooby-Doo style to go pee in the river, and then we caught it halfway up the stream.
we caught it with a hand. Said no.
There was a POV cam in that man's fanny pack.
Took a GoPro and some duct tape
Specific.
on a shaft.
It's showing the dramatization, and then it cuts to the POV cam, and you just see the stream off to the left side of the POV cam. Emphasis on pee.
It'll like cut to the camera like, oh yes, the South African penile swimmer will go up a man's urethra
The South African.
and get stuck in there, causing inflammation and sudden pain when having to pee. Say it like a
That's all it does.
Say it like a
When it swims up your pee stream into your urethra, the only thing it does is it causes slight inflammation.
It like it gets swollen.
The fish literally welcomes itself in. And there's some slight swelling and discomfort.
He's like, he comes to the party. He goes, I'm just gonna be a light inconvenience.
I will be a slight inconvenience.
I'm not gonna.
They call me the South African penis arowana.
It's like you know I'm here, but you really don't have to get rid of me if you don't want to.
I'm basically just here drinking your pee, but you could let me vibe if you want to.
But hear me out. Slightly bigger penis. Inflammation.
Slightly swollen penis.
It's like the house guest.
Fixture ED.
Yeah.
More blood flow. I'm telling you, listen, this is a win-win. This is a symbiotic relationship
We
right here.
both-
Think of me as that little bird to your dirty hippo teeth.
It's crocodile, isn't it?
Crocodiles too, but hippos also. Because hippos are more dangerous than crocodiles.
That penis fish is to a man as Grammarly is to my wife, where they both need each other.
They both need each other. What's that? What are you saying about your wife? What are you implying?
Apparently she pays for Grammarly now, so that's fun.
She does pay for Grammarly.
I mean, Grammarly's cool. I used it. But like $12.99, you get all the features except for it's like, this wording's a little off.
You're like, she's spending $12.99 on Grammarly, and we're not even on a Spotify couples account. What is this track?
We are on a Spotify couples account.
No, I was gonna ask that next.
No,
because
we are.
if you're not, then you're just wasting your time.
No, we are on a Spotify couples.
Because it's like that's like $12.99 for 2 Spotify accounts, and that's pretty worth it.
That is what I have.
Yeah,
I listen to myself on my Spotify couples account all the time.
Yeah,
I go and I'll check on the podcast, I'll play it, and I'll be like,
yep, skip through it.
mm-hmm.
Yep.
Real listeners know that last episode, or I guess no, this is episode 7. So episode 5, I had to split the audio in one of it, and so there's like a 40-second moment of silence where I split it, and I guess I didn't put it back all the way, and so they're both still synced, but it'll like go through a sentence, and then it'll like moment of silence for 45 seconds.
Good stuff.
And then it'll cut back in right where it left off. And I recognized it.
It's the real flow of conversation.
The day after I uploaded it, and I did not want to go through the effort to fix it.
Yeah, and that's the real flow of conversation here. There's a lot of 45-second silences before the magic.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I need a penis fish.
Maybe. Maybe you could ask Grammarly subscriber.
What?
She goes on Grammarly to find more kind adjectives. Grander.
Good enough.
More adequate.
Perfect size.
Perfect. Just
The big ones hurt.
You say the big ones hurt. Use Grammarly as a thesaurus to not let your husband down quite as much when you gotta break the news.
Just let him know. You're
Can't end that man's whole career without Grammarly. Sponsored by Grammarly.
Tu penis is no muy grande.
How do you know that's Spanish for penis?
Just grande.
What is penis in Spanish?
I don't know.
What is penis? I would love to know if it's actually
It's not.
if it's actually just penis. Penne.
Penne. Tu penne.
Tu penne.
No muy grande. Soy grande.
Soy grande. Tú eres chico de soy.
Muy pequeño.
Muy pequeño.
No.
Wow. Now that we've offended that one Spanish
We
viewer,
just lost my Spanish viewer.
not the Spanish listener.
Spanish listener, please. Me and more.
Wow.
Come back
Speaking
to
of
us.
lake monsters,
Oh yeah, my dog.
what happened today with Beck when we were playing disc golf?
Well, usually when I go to play disc golf, I take Becky with me to let her run because she's an apartment dog and she needs her legs stretched. And we played disc golf, and the first thing first with Becky, she heard her name. She's coming to say hi. She has an obsession with onion grass, and so if she
She does.
finds it, she will stop her body weight and pull against you to keep sniffing this onion
And
grass.
this field was literally full of onion grass.
And so I took her off the leash, and she went berserk. Like, she just started sprinting into the field just
Basically high out of her
the
mind.
entire time. And so she's going back and forth, left and right, just smelling each other in the grass, getting a little high. And she comes back, and she finally listens to me because she goes off this onion grass high, and I get her to come back. Because with disc golf, you're not supposed to pick up the disc. You're just kind of supposed to, leave them there and then
It's
play
not
the next
fetch.
turn. Yeah,
it's not fetch, Becky.
And Beck loves fetch, but she's still learning that disc golf is not fetch because when I throw something a distance, she goes, I have to get it. Or in Beck's case of fetch, I have to go to where he threw it, pick it up, look at him, walk 10 feet in his direction, and lay down and wait for him to come to me.
Or drop it.
Exactly.
And then continue walking.
Exactly.
She followed, I threw a solid roller, and she caught up with it about halfway down the throw. And
She just chased it.
she ran right next to it for the rest of the throw as it circled a tree. She just kind of
She was
stayed
behind
right
it.
next
She
to
was
it.
in biting distance. She just didn't
Oh, yeah.
bite it.
She was just more observing.
At a close angle. So we're close to this hole. So it's number 5. You throw it off. You throw it off a cliff. Holes to straight ahead across a creek. Well,
Yep.
to the right of us there is a lake. And I told her sit and stay. She listens. She doesn't jump off the cliff after the disc.
Some big stairs that
Thank
lead
goodness.
down there. So we gotta, Beck's running down. She runs down all the stairs, and we're walking down the stairs because we don't need to run that fast. And
Yeah,
then
it's
and then you
stairs.
were like,
I looked at the lake, and between they have there's a little island on the lake, and in between the little island and the land is a log, at the bottom of a tree stump, turned on the side, and on this one stump, in the one the only bird I've seen on this entire camp we're at
yep.
is a duck, and I look at Ben and I go, when Beck sees that duck, she's gonna jump in the water, and by the time
And I said no, she's not gonna see
he didn't
the
have
duck.
time
She's
to
fine.
respond. I look at her down there. She looks at me. She looks at the duck. The duck flies away, and she is Supermaning into this lake. Where then I go, oh no. And I sprint down the stairs, across the little bridge, onto the other side, this rock wall, and I'm mirroring her in the lake, running with her as she is dolphin jumping.
Because it's 2 feet deep.
Yeah, it's like
It's like a foot and a half deep, maybe, right there.
She
and
could
so
walk
she
through
can
it.
easily walk, and so she's just jumping up and down.
She's jumping for a good 50 feet into this lake. And then running next to her Beck, come here. Beck, come here. Beck, come here. And she gets to the point. Things about Beck. Beck doesn't like to swim. She can swim, but she's lazy. So she'll jump all the way to the middle of this lake. And she hit the point where she can't touch the ground. And so I call her name, and that's when she finally recognizes that I've been calling her name for the past minute. And she swims in a circle, looks at me, swims back around to kind of contemplate a duck, kind of say goodbye to the duck one last time. And then instead of swimming to the edge where I'm standing, where she can swim 20 feet, she goes back the 100 feet she came
The same
to
way.
the water.
The way
gets
she
off.
knows.
And,
Because she knew there was ground there she could walk on.
and she went all the way back, no duck in hand, and then looked at me. And my dog, who was clean, is now covered in dirty lake water and mud, and then proceeded to go into the mud of the creek, and then go from the middle of her legs down, covered in mud.
Mm-hmm.
And I love my dog. I love my dog so much. But sometimes it's just like, it's like the reference on TikTok where it's like, you feed them, you take care of them, but they're still effing stupid.
It's funny because she looks like this fat dog. She looks like she's so jiggly. And then she gets in the water and she gets out of the water and she's half the size. Because there's so much fluff on that dog that as soon as she's wet, it's like, oh, there is a normal sized dog under there.
You guys understand. Beck is a small dog. She's a medium sized dog. She's not small.
Not small.
But no. She's wide.
She's wide.
She's very sturdy.
Honestly looks like a small bear.
Yeah. If she didn't have a tail, she would be a small bear.
Yeah.
She might be a small bear. I got her from the mountains. She might have bear in her. She
still might be a small bear.
They might have said, yeah, German Shepherd Husky. No. Husky black bear baby. And then got rid of it.
I could see that.
That'd actually be really funny because I did get her off Craigslist.
Yeah.
It's just a random dog.
Yep.
People. She looks like an Australian Shepherd, but she has the attitude of a Husky, but she's all black.
Yep.
And you're thinking two colorful breeds make a black dog, and I'm like, yes. She has little white spots on her, but they're so tiny you wouldn't know they're there unless I showed them to you.
Yeah, and one black spot on her little tongue.
Yeah, she does. That wasn't there. I think she bit a piece of wood on fire.
That's possible.
Because she likes fire. We took her camping a couple years ago with some friends, and it was really cold that time, and we forgot the firewood. Or we didn't forget the firewood. We only brought part of it up, and we needed to get more. And so Dawson and Sierra, Dawson being one of our friends, and Sierra, not my wife, they're like, Zach, go get the firewood. And I was like, you kidding me? You're not going to help me? They're like, no, it's cold. So I begrudgingly go down there, leaving them with my dog. And I come back with the firewood just up this mountain after trekking down and back up with a load of firewood to see my dog smoking because she's standing over the butane grill while her fur is catching on fire. And Dawson and Sierra are just wanderingly looking around like, ooh, this is a great view as my dog is burning. So I wouldn't put it past her that she actually just decided to bite the firewood.
Yeah. Get a little cinder in the mouth there.
But
it's a cute little, it looks like a little birthmark.
It does look like a birthmark, but it's probably just a scar because she's stupid.
There's not a lot of thoughts going on in that head.
It's like she's smart, she knows tricks, but she doesn't have problem solving. Like we had our maintenance come to our apartment today, and she didn't let him in, and so she scared the maintenance guy. So he just put the air filter in between the screen door and our like actual door. I think me and her need to go to therapy.
Yeah, you could go to therapy. So I was thinking.
I have a lot to talk about in therapy. Huh? Like my childhood's been really up and down. My current life's been really up and down. I could use some therapy.
Oof. Okay. So, you know what? There's gonna be questions about our relationship, but now I'm like, these first couple are for you and Beck.
Okay.
Let's see.
Me and Becky.
First question: do you want to stay together?
Yes, I would like to stay together with Becky.
Okay.
I just would like her to bark less.
Okay. So I guess that kind of leads us into question number 2. What are the biggest problems with your marriage? This is you and Becky, not your marriage. Mm-hmm.
So Becky is a mouth breather.
Yeah.
She doesn't.
Yeah.
She has a lot of fur, and I'll give her that. But she doesn't breathe out of her nose unless I force her to.
She a lot of dogs, they don't pant until they've been running. But Becky is inside, and she could be inside having just gotten up from a nap, and she will be constantly.
And I think it's a choice because she'll.
You think it's a choice?
Because she'll.
You think Becky is making a constant choice to be mouth breathing?
Because. I've done.
Please go on.
I've got annoyed with her. I'm like, Beck, stop, and she'll stop mouth breathing.
I think that's just because she's listening.
she'll be like.
She goes from she's like,
and
you're like stop, and then she's like,
or one time I got
hyperventilate.
I got really annoyed, And I was driving, and I pulled over, stopped the car, and looked at her, and I got in her face, and I went, how do you like it? Stop breathing. And I got her to go lay down because she wouldn't stop mouth breathing in my ear because she stands in the middle of the console where she can see the big window, and I couldn't take it anymore. I cracked. If you hold, this sounds terrible. If you just slightly put a little pressure on her bottom jaw and her top jaw,
if you clamp her mouth shut with a C-clamp.
With a little bit of pressure, she'll breathe out of her nose. But it's a choice.
That's because she has to. She will suffocate.
But that proves it's a choice.
if I'm like this, and my nose is as it is most days, semi-stuffed, right? Mm-hmm. And you tied a rope around my chin and head, and I had to breathe through my nose, I'd figure it out.
It's a choice.
Okay.
She chooses to mouth breathe. Because there's some days
she chooses to to have allergies.
Well, she'll stop and she won't mouth breathe. That'd be nice. But like you were saying, one day she'll wake up from a nap and she'll just be like,
yeah, it's like, go straight to the.
It's like, Beck, I need you to stop.
It's like that episode of Bob's Burgers where that girl likes Gene and he does not like her back
because she has a lisp.
Because she has like a lisp and she breathes out of her mouth and she's always sucking on that necklace. And he's like, and she's trying to. He has that song called "Silent Love," and she starts singing "Silent Love," and he's like, "Stop talking, stop breathing. You're annoying."
It's like, you're annoying me.
And she's like, "You know what I mean? That's things that you clean."
It's like, I love Becky, and I would do so much for her, but I need space.
You need space. Okay, here's another good question. Are you currently happy? And what could you do to be happier in your relationship?
My relationship with my dog?
Mm-hmm. It's a secondary question. How would you describe an ideal relationship with your dog?
I would like my dog to be like a mute. So, much like the eunuchs were back in the olden days, where they cut off their tongues and they can't talk.
You know that's not what they cut off on eunuchs.
No,
right?
I know what they cut off on eunuchs.
Okay.
But typically, where one thing's gone, the other thing's gone.
When they cut off the eunuchs' tongues.
Isn't they also cut off the tongues?
I don't think they cut off tongue. Maybe they did.
I thought they did both.
The only thing I know for sure they cut off was not the tongue.
Google if they cut off the tongues.
All right,
because
I know they cut off the.
They cut off the old the special
South
parts.
African penile arowana.
Yeah, the penile arowana had no effect on the eunuchs.
None at all.
However, I swear they also didn't have tongues.
I'm one hand typing.
Maybe it was just a peasant. I don't know.
Eunuch? Is eunuch spelled?
Just tell me if they have tongues.
EUNUCH.
It's old times. People were weird.
This just says castrated.
People knew. Oh well, never mind.
Yeah, I don't think I think it was just castration mainly is what you.
To compare my relationship's dogs to a eunuch, I'm not gonna castrate Becky. However, I do wish she would be silent sometimes and just kind of exist, kind of like a cat. Just kind of be around sometimes because she has this thing. She husky, as I mentioned, where she has to bark at everything, or not bark, but it's like a whine. It's like a low growl. But the growl is just kind of like a.
Yeah, it's like
and so if there's.
It's like the half bark.
If I'm doing something in my office or in the room or anywhere, and she sees a shadow or she sees a squirrel out of the corner of her eye, she'll be like. And it's like, dude.
It's kind of cute though.
It's like, dude, there is a door between you and him. You're not getting out of here. I don't know if you know this. You don't have thumbs.
It's actually a whole wall.
You don't have thumbs, man, girl. And you're not gonna get through this.
Yeah. And then sometimes she does that, like the high pitched.
That's fine.
Whine kind of thing huskies do.
She just wants attention. I'll pet her then.
Yeah, no,
I'll
it's
play
pretty
fetch,
cute.
Pet her.
I say this having never lived with a husky of any form, but it's cute when I hear it.
No, that's fine. That's usually every time I go home. She does that.
Here's another one. Are you arguing about different things, or is it always the same topics?
It's usually the same thing. Like every morning when I take her on her walk, she knows if I get my AirPods what we're doing. So she will wait at our doorway into my bedroom, but while still keeping line of sight of the front door.
Yeah.
And she will watch me.
If she lets the front door out of her sight, the door might leave without her.
So if I go to put my AirPods in, she just knows, and and I'll put them in slowly, and if it's too slow, she will yap at me. If I'm taking, if I put my AirPods in before I put on my shoes, I'm getting she'll be like, "Hop, hop," and she'll run back and forth to the door, and then back at me, and then to the door again, and then look at me, and I'm like, dude, I'll talk to her, I'll be like, Becky, let me put in my headphones. She's like,
she's like, dude, there's an order to these things.
Yeah.
And you are not following.
She's like, you're going to put on shoes after headphones? Absolutely
She's
not.
like, you are not following the template that we have agreed upon.
You know that if the headphones are on, we're out the door.
Yeah, we're gone.
It doesn't matter. You're going barefoot now, buddy.
The fact that you put headphones on and I'm not currently
on a leash
pooping in a playground right now is honestly it's offensive to me.
It's honestly offensive to me that you put headphones on and I'm not nose deep in some onion grass right now.
Yeah, that's hurtful.
I cannot believe you.
Yeah, I think you should probably.
Actually, I will call PETA. I will go outside to that squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't come back.
Mm-hmm. Are you doing a lot of things together that you both enjoy and value?
Yeah, we disc golf, we walk, we have fun things.
Mm-hmm.
Playing golf, so I'll hit golf balls and then I'll smack one of her fetch balls and she'll get that. And then I'll yell at her not to get a golf ball. And then I'll yell at her to bring me back the fetch ball.
She's like, no, not the little white one.
And usually it just ends up me walking back and forth in a field without having her bring the ball back at all.
You hit it for the chance that she might bring it back.
Well, she'll go to it.
Yeah, but she just doesn't bring it back.
After the first time, it's no. She's like, you're gonna come to me.
She's not a fetch dog.
She's like, if you're gonna make me run and get this ball. See, that's the thing though. She knows how to bring it back inside.
That's because that's easier. There's limited range. There's only so far you can throw it.
She will bring it back every time. If it's outside, she'll be like, absolutely not. If I'm running, you're running, buddy.
If I'm running, it's like I don't understand how you would think it's okay for me to have to run and you don't have to.
She's like, I'm gonna go down here to this part of the agreement where I have to go get the ball, but I'm not bringing it back. You're coming to me.
Yeah,
you're gonna meet me 50-50. I get weekdays, you get weeknights, friend.
You're gonna bring me halfway. We're gonna carpool. Exactly. We're gonna figure it out.
And you're gonna take that ball and you're gonna throw it down the road again, and we're gonna do the same thing. And we'll do that.
How would you describe the quality of your sex life?
Nope, she's a dog, so we don't have sex with my dog.
So true. Different. Wow. Is jealousy an issue in your relationship?
Yeah, Beck definitely doesn't like... She likes other dogs.
She doesn't like it when you look at other dogs, though.
No, but she definitely gets
Especially
jealous.
not the way you
look at other dogs. Stop giving hints that I have sex with my dog, because I don't. That's not cool. Speaking of sex with animals,
that is the worst segue
really
that
cool
we've
video
ever
on
had.
the internet that you definitely should look up on the school computer. It's about this really cool horse that does these cool tricks. It's called Mr. Hands. It's about this guy and this horse. You don't know what I'm talking about, do you?
No. Is that the guy who died?
That's the guy. Mr. Hands is the story of the horse and the man. And
the guy who died
because he tried.
I do know. Yeah,
he got F to death by the horse.
Yeah,
yeah, because it ripped his intestines.
Yeah, heard about that.
So, anyways,
didn't know the name.
So, anyways, look up Mr. Hands on the school computer. He does this really cool juggling trick.
Oh yeah, no, didn't know the name. I kind of saw that direction. I did. As soon as you said it, I was like, "Is that guy?"
Maybe.
And I was right.
I don't know what you. It's really good though.
I'm not gonna.
You didn't look up. You didn't do that phase where you looked up really jarring things on the internet.
I mean,
have you seen a beheading?
No. I can't handle that kind of crap.
You haven't seen a beheading.
No. I think you sent me that video of somebody's fingernail.
Oh yeah, my friend.
Of somebody's hand getting stitched back together, and I couldn't watch it. Yeah, I actually watched a couple. I did watch a few seconds of it.
Well, that wasn't even the part that was cool is when he pulls the fingertip.
No, yeah,
back.
I got to that part. and then I stopped.
and then I passed out, and I woke up, and I passed out again.
I was chill because I was kind of prepared for it.
He got it slammed in a door, and it cut it off right where the bottom of the fingernail meets the skin.
That's disgusting.
And it split the finger bone in half.
I hate.
And so it was.
It split the finger bone in half.
It was only hanging on by like tissue. There.
That's disgusting.
There's an X-ray of it, and then one of our friends took it and put elevator music to it, and then put it on his Instagram.
No, ew, dude, I almost passed out one time because I was peeling potatoes, right? And I have a scar on this pinky because I was holding a potato like this, like fingers up, open palm, and I was holding this potato, and I think I had one of those peelers that's shaped like a wishbone.
Yeah.
And it's got the razor kind of in the middle. Mm-hmm. And I was doing like this direction. Yeah. And I went, and then clean, very tip of my pinky gone. And I was like, just kind of stared at it as it like welled up with blood.
You're just looking at it, you're like,
I had to call in late to work.
It's just like, you're like, maybe this is good for me.
Yeah, I was like, this is bad actually. And then I had to like, it took like 30 minutes to an hour for me to get to bandage the thing enough where it would stop bleeding. And then I didn't unbandage it for a couple of days.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
Because then the blood's going to dry and then it's going to stick to it and it's going to be really uncomfortable when you take it off.
It did hurt.
It's going to tear it and it's going to bleed again.
Well, I got it to the point where I could safely. At one point, I did take a bandage off of it that ripped it and it hurt.
Yeah.
But at one point, I finally got it safely, but it wouldn't stop bleeding. I definitely like had to sit on the couch and go. It's like, again, Bob's Burgers episode that applies to life. The time where Bob cuts his hand and she's like, Bob, when you see blood, you pass out. And then he's like, Linda, I don't pass out when I see. Oh, he's like, it's fine. It's only a little bit of blood. And then he's passed. And he's like, and then they're like, Jean's like, you passed out, Dad. And he's like, no, I didn't. Yeah, you cut your hand and you passed out on the floor. No, I didn't. That is me with blood, unironically.
Oh, let's see. What else is on the scar we watched as a kid?
I did look up videos like that. I looked up like medical things that were like, oh, that's so terrible.
I don't know. Mine were not like medical things. Mine were like backrooms, like Reddit style videos where it's like the videos that are on Twitter that you see on like a random Twitter account, and it's like it's super blurry, but you can tell what's happening. And most of the time they get taken down because they're not good videos. Mm-hmm. So let's see. I've seen.
No,
that's a backrooms video.
Yeah,
there's like plane crashes.
I've seen
Those are crazy.
Yeah, it's like stuff like plane crashes, like people getting like mauled or like disappearing or something like that kind of stuff. I looked up, but like I don't know what you're looking at. I don't know what you're looking at, but I don't like it.
It's not that I looked them up. It's like,
yeah, no.
It's like you're in the middle school locker room and that one kid's like, "Hey, watch this." He shoves his.
I was never in the locker room in middle school.
He shoves his freaking Samsung S3 in your face, and it's
wow, really flexing on you with the S3.
And it looks like a brick, and it's like 2 inches thick. And it's got like the half plastic screen. And you're looking at it, and you're like, "What is this?" And he goes, "Just watch." And then, oh my gosh!
I didn't need the description, but I assumed that's what it was. But I didn't need the specifics.
And then you get to like 9th grade, and they start talking to you, or like I guess 8th grade, and they talk about sex education. You're like, "Listen, I've seen it all at this point." You're like, it's too late.
Yeah. No, see, by the 9th grade I knew, but definitely in like the 7th grade.
7th grade?
No, literally 7th grade is when my dad gave me the talk. And when I had the talk from my dad is when I learned what sex was.
Oh my God. I think I had to be like 11. I think I was younger than 11.
See, 7th grade is like when you left.
Well, no, it wasn't. It was like 6th grade, wasn't it?
7th.
Whatever. Anyways, I learned
2 days before Thanksgiving.
I learned pretty young. My family got a divorce.
Yeah. No, you did. It was 2 days before Thanksgiving. Like, it was like the week before Thanksgiving, and then we had Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday through Friday off, and you left the week, like the Friday of the week before was your last day.
The thing is just like this forbidden rule of family where it's like, listen, don't talk about sex around your kids. But as soon as you get a divorce, your mom and dad's gonna be like, let me tell you what he was doing. He was going around doing it, and your dad's like, let me tell you what that lady was doing. He was going around.
Let me tell you what that lady was doing. He was going around.
She was going around, slinging that thing. That thing wasn't supposed to be.
These are the conversations you had. He was going around slinging that thing, and that thing was not that screwdriver. Let me tell you where that screwdriver had been.
11-year-old Zach was not prepared for that.
No. 11-year-old Zach was traumatized.
He went through some fun times.
Yeah.
Divorce makes funny kids.
Ooh. No comment.
No, it does. It makes really funny people. Anyway. Who's your favorite actor, and why is it Brendan Fraser?
Because of The Whale.
You can say that's the actual good movie he's done in the longest time.
Have you seen
The Whale?
Journey to the Center of the Earth?
No, it's not a good movie.
Yeah, it is.
Whale is the only good movie he's done.
Hold on.
Now I gotta look it up on my thing. I'm putting you guys down.
No, I'm like, there's high quality Brendan Fraser movies. Don't sass me. Movies.
I cannot.
Brother, The Mummy.
I've pulled up his IMDb. Oh, he did do The Mummy. What is Crash? All right, guys. These are the 4 movies.
George of the Jungle.
Brendan Fraser's known for. He's known for Crash.
The
He's
Nut
known for
Job?
The Whale. He's known for The Mummy, and he's known for The Mummy Returns.
No, he's known for Journey to the Center of the Earth. A Mummy primarily. The Mummy is his primary bread and butter.
But I don't know if I've watched. He's known for Nut Job. Okay,
Yeah,
now
he's
that's
in
a
the
good
Nut Job,
movie.
brother.
That's a fantastic movie.
You'd know that if you were a real fan.
Oh, he's in Pawn Shop Chronicles. He's Ricky in the Pawn Shop Chronicles.
Didn't recognize that one.
He's Turbo Thunder and
He
Fairly
was in
Odd
G.I.
Parents.
Joe. He played Dudley Do-Right. I forgot about that.
I was just reading that.
That's a classic. I forgot.
Anyway,
he played Dudley
he's
Do-Right.
he's
Dudley
in The
Do-Right's
Whale,
funny.
and The Whale's a good movie.
I've not actually seen The Whale.
I haven't either, actually.
All right.
I've seen clips of it, and his acting's really good in The Whale. And I've seen clips of him talking about.
I know he got a lot of flack because people
suit.
didn't like the portrayal of obesity, but he was like,
He
this
loved it.
he's like, this is a real problem.
Well, see, the issue is he also, the inverse happened. He also got a lot of praise because he committed to the bit.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think
being
that the
obese.
reasoning, and I've seen him talk about it, like the reasoning he had for doing it, and like what he has said about it, I'm like, I'm about that.
This is him in The Whale.
Yeah,
It's huge.
yeah. Hence the name
And they
of the
talked
movie.
about the suit, and they were telling it is similar to overalls, and then a lot of makeup on top of overalls.
Yeah.
So
Have you
the
seen Big
suit
Mama's House?
Actually, was like the legs were. I've seen the legs move, and the legs move similar. Like there's no structure in them.
The whales.
It's weird.
Yeah, but have you seen Big Mama's House?
No, I haven't seen Big Mama's House.
Because it's the same thing, except instead of Brendan Fraser, it's Martin Lawrence. It's it's Martin Lawrence, the whale.
Like the suit is nuts. It's huge. Like it's.
Yeah, he's a large man.
I've watched. I did say I saw some clips of it, and it looks very serious.
Yeah, I mean it's not a comedy, right, at all.
No.
Which is also cool for Brendan Fraser because he's typically comical.
Is he?
Yeah,
I've never. To be honest, I've
he
always
played Dudley Do-Right.
I've thought of Brendan Fraser, and it still until this moment it never crossed my mind. He was like, I'm a comedy actor.
Yeah.
Not a single. I don't know why.
I mean, like, I guess something like The Mummy isn't gonna. It's not. The Mummy is one of those movies that's like a weird '90s, early 2000s, trying to be a comedy action movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see how that doesn't like scream comedy, but like he is himself a comic actor. I think he's funny.
He's funny.
I think I wish he were
funny
in more
aspects.
things. He's gone through a whole. Like, are you familiar with like the whole divorce thing he went through?
He went through like he had like the Nicolas Cage effect where he did good stuff, and then there's like a huge series of bad stuff.
Yeah.
And now he's back again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Nicolas Cage is back because he bought 8 castles. And he's trying to pay off his castle debt. But Brendan Fraser, I guess if he had a divorce, I don't know about the divorce thing because he's paying off his divorce attorney.
His wife, his ex-wife was like bleeding him dry.
Okay, so similar.
Like she was abusing the amount of money she was getting. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and so
That's where that sad Brendan Fraser picture comes
now
from.
he's back and he's doing really good stuff again. It's the Nicolas Cage. It's like a full cycle. He's like really high and he drops really low for like 15 years. And then now he's coming back again.
It has been a while.
Because Nicolas
He
Cage
was in some big stuff. Nicolas Cage, I think, was out of the game a little longer.
Well, Nicolas Cage is back again. He's in this a couple of stuff.
I think Brendan Fraser's a better actor.
Yeah, I just think Nicolas Cage has a very specific role he has to play.
Yes.
Because the movie that I'm thinking of him in, Nicolas Cage is playing himself.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it, but I know
It's like the unbearable weight of
greatness
of
or something like
talent.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you saw parts of that Five Nights at Freddy's movie he was in.
I watched the whole movie.
I watched all of it except for the like random sex scenes.
The one where they die in the middle of
yeah. I'm like, ooh, that was a lot.
We're getting murdered. Let's do it in the middle of this place where someone has been sacrificed.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my word. There's also
Nothing.
I don't know if you saw but Blumhouse or Bloomhouse. I think it's Blumhouse.
It's Blumhouse, isn't it?
One or the other. They have, I believe, just cast the Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Yeah, they're filming it. I've seen
Yeah.
The pictures of the set.
Yeah. And I'm like, Blumhouse stuff is so campy
Listen, hear me
that
out.
I feel like that is going to be a good movie.
Hear me out.
I'm hearing you.
Willy's Wonderland
Mm-hmm.
split the Red Sea like Moses, so Five Nights at Freddy's could run.
No, I agree.
So Five Nights at Freddy's could go through.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
I'm just saying.
Willy's Wonderland flew too close to the sun, much like Icarus, to fall.
Uh-huh. Now,
So then Five Nights at Freddy's could then shine.
the question that I have, because FNAF, Five Nights at Freddy's, I was so interested in Five Nights at Freddy's. I played it in at Brady's house. I played it in VR.
Oh, we did play that
The first night.
That is terrifying.
That's
Playing
terrifying.
it in VR is scary because one.
I got jump scared when I was taking off the headset. I ran out of power and it was like 5 a.m. and I was like, nope, I'm done, I'm out. And then Bonnie freaking killed me as I am pulling the headset off and I actually screamed, full on actually screamed.
That was scary for me is because in the game you're like eye level with these things.
Yeah.
And I guess it was calibrated to your guys' height, or maybe they're just huge. Because when I did it, I was looking at like their crotches, and so
I think they're just big.
they were just huge. So I have to.
Well, they're pretty big in the game too. It's just you don't get the scale of it.
I'd have to like when I was playing in the VR, I had to look up to do it.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think you don't get the scale of it in the games because the doors are really tall, but they don't look like it.
Yeah. But it was terrifying.
But just the way that I think it's so interesting how those games have you sit in one spot, just waiting.
well, see, that part also kind of makes me bored.
No, I get that.
That's where I kind of
I personally derive more joy out of watching somebody play a horror game than me playing a horror game, and that applies to any horror game.
Mm-hmm.
So like I loved those games just watching other people play them.
Are you gonna play The Last of Us?
That's not really horror.
It is.
Is it?
It's technically horror.
Is it horror or is it more like thriller?
It's in the middle because there's
Okay. You talking about the first one?
both. I mean, the second one's less horror.
Yeah. Because you
But-
play as a giraffe for half the game, right?
Yeah, you play as a giraffe. In The Last of Us, it's called The Last of Its Kind. It's a game about extinction
The giraffes of us.
and and trying to avoid getting killed for your fur
Yeah.
and your tiny little antlers. But
Little antlers.
they have little tiny antlers in their heads. But it's like an in between, because there's scary parts and there's parts where you can be jump scared, but it's also it makes you think, because if you shoot someone, they will beg. And they will like scream in pain. And then you're like also running from zombies.
Unless you shoot them in the head.
And also making like choices there.
Yeah.
And so it's in between. It's not like a It's not like
It's more like psychological.
It's not like a jump scare game. It's like a story.
Yeah.
But it's gonna crush you type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I have
Jump
friends,
scares are cheaper.
They got to like a pretty big point in the game. I mean, I can talk about it. They got to the point in the game where they're like in the hospital with the fireflies, and they're operating on Ellie to kind of examine her brain, to
I know the basic
to
premise,
save
so.
the cure, to try to find a cure essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And then Joel goes in and freaking, what's that movie? I saw this. There's a movie I shown in high school in Tennessee, and it's where this guy holds up a hospital to save his son. He needs a heart transplant. I forget what movie that was.
I know what you're talking about.
It's not related, but anyways, Joel goes up and he shoots up the entire hospital, kills like 100 people.
When you say Joel, do you mean you as Joel?
Yeah, you do this.
You do this.
In the game, you go and you shoot up an entire hospital.
Cool.
There's mean people in the hospital, so you're not just like gunning down patients.
That's kind of what I'm imagining is like this old guy.
You're not
old guy in a bed.
You're not Grey's Anatomy-ing the hospital.
Gotcha.
You're more of like taking charge of the hospital.
This guy's like, oh, it's time for my pudding. Ah! He's gone.
No, I just imagined this family they were like grandpa's really sick, and the mother's father's getting to that point where it's like quality over quantity. Like
Yeah.
Quality of life starts coming in the conversation because he's like on machines, and she goes to the doctor and she's like, I think I'm ready to sign it. And the doctor's like,
unplug it.
The doctor's like, are you sure? And she's like, yeah. She's like, I think at this point we've said our goodbyes, and I think we're gonna put him down. and she's like crying. She's like, I don't know if I can be in the room when you do it. He like looks at him. He goes, it's okay. We learned this in medical school, and they signed the paper. And then the wife, she's like, thank you. And she walks out of the room. She's really sad. And then she watches the doctor through like the window into the room pull out a 12 gauge and just
it just blows a hole in the wall.
There's like
I was imagining like
blood splatter, and she's just like, thank you.
Thank you.
He's like, the doctor sits there and he's that's what it's honestly the right decision. He walks out of the room
and he's got half of his face has blood splatters on it, and he's like, I think you made the right choice. And then
that super calm tone.
Yeah. I imagined she's like rewind. She's like, I think I made the choice, and he's like, are you sure? And she's like, no, I can't do it, doctor. Let's wait one more. And as she's saying the word day, Joel kicks down the door with a shotgun.
It's not the type of hospital.
He kicks the doctor over and then shotguns the guy in the bed. And then the doctor just goes, well, good news. You don't have to make that decision anymore.
That'll be $500,000.
Yes, that will be 500. Did you, sir? Talking to Joel, he's like, sir, did you ride an ambulance here? Because that'll be another 12 grand.
He turns back. His wife's like, oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, I forgot my concealed carry today. Nurse, you're gonna have to take care of this guy. And then the nurse is like, all right, on it, doctor. Well,
we need a crash cart. Stat.
Crash cart.
That's what they call it.
I was gonna say it's when they just run two patients into each other on their beds. It's just two birds, one stone, two patients, one crash.
Get the crash cart. It's more economical.
It costs less in this economy. He's like, how would you like this to be done? And she's like, oh, I can't afford anything expensive. And then he just takes the bed and pushes it out the window.
He just runs it and just
it's like eight floors up. The guy takes a little bit to hit the ground. The higher floor number, the cheaper it is because they're more likely to die.
So how much would a crash cart be in this scenario off the second floor? Like he could get a broken leg.
Are we insured? Have we hit our deductible?
We've met our deductible for the year.
Okay. I would say crash cart off the second floor. 1,200.
if I'm thinking efficiency, we gotta go by age. So I'm thinking if they're 70.
It doesn't go by age. It goes by weight.
No, it goes by age. Because if you throw a younger heavyweight child off, there's a good chance kids are bouncy. If you didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
but I'm saying.
But if you throw an 80-year-old
heavier,
obese person on the ground,
they're
just
heavier,
more of like a splat vibe.
It's more effort for the doctor to push them out the window if they're heavier. If Brendan Fraser the whale is on the 17th story of this hospital,
that's like the premium patient. If Brendan Fraser the whale needs a crash cart off the 17th story of the Grays Memorial Hospital,
he can afford a shotgun.
But he doesn't want to. He's got to save it.
He doesn't want.
He's smart with his money. He's gonna donate it. So he goes, "Why would I waste $250,000 on a buckshot to the brain?"
That is the set established price.
Is $250,000
of a buckshot death is $250,000.
Because if there's a malpractice, so fun fact: a human life, if there's malpractice, the insurance goes by. They say how much a human life is worth, and they say a year of human life is worth is about $104,000.
What?
So if there's malpractice and say the guy takes 10 years off your life, you will get like $1.4 million due to That's wrong. 1.4 is not right.
Well, it'd be 1,040,000.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was trying to correct. But yeah, that's the scale.
That's crazy.
Of how much a year of a human life is worth to a hospital, to most hospitals that use that range. So if you're like trying to end it, $250,000 doesn't sound too bad. But I was saying, instead of taking the buckshot to the brain, he's gonna be the apple in Isaac Newton's brain. He's just gonna fall. He's just gonna, and then God's gonna be like, "What?"
Falls right through heaven.
Right? It's like a portal cycle, which is it keeps going.
He gets caught in a portal.
He hits the edge of the portal, and he just
somebody moves. He catches a lot of speed, and then somebody moves one portal over, and then
just splatters.
Oh, that's
like shooting a paintball against a brick.
That's the space efficient version. They use a portal gun instead of out the window.
Mm-hmm. So hypothetically, if we had alien technology, we would then do that.
Yeah.
TikTok time! All right. Welcome to TikTok time, everybody. This week, we have this one TikTok that I found. It's called Schmungus Bin.
Okay, I'm at my girlfriend's house. Can someone tell me what these
Yeah.
categories are? Schmungus? A VPN?
He's on a VPN.
I married a schmungus.
He married a schmungus? The schmungus among us? They stole my schmungus.
They stole my
And
Schmungus.
she's like, I'm on the VPN.
To what?
Where are we?
I don't know. Love and Schmungus?
They stole my schmungus.
In Schmungus we trust.
That one is just called schmungus.
Schmungus.
Oh.
Smungish Masters. Hold on, let's read the description of Smungus Revenge. It's stolen by a mafia. Ex-cop Jason Lane must fight his way. I can't see what it says. The criminal underground to recover Schmungus and his sanity.
To recover schmungus and his
Hold on,
sanity.
go back to you again.
They stole my schmungus. That's actually the German translation of The Gray Man with Chris Evans.
Schmungus among us. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning into this episode.
What a closer. All right, as soon as you click off of this, you got to go watch Schmungus Revenge.
If you don't watch Schmungus Revenge, then we're going to steal your Schmungus.
Yup, and you're not getting it back.
We're not giving it back. So remember to rate this podcast, show it with your friends, play it on your TV, and leave the house for several hours. Also put it on loop. Make sure it's off sleep mode, or we're going to steal your Schmungus.
Yep, and don't kiss your sister.